Well,
Another week.
here we are.
Here.
Sing song in the intro.
Yeah. This is a good episode this week. We're using one of my favorite ingredients, which is a frothy ingredient. And we all know I love frothy cocktails. And
Yep.
this really is like, for me, the creme de la creme of a sour style cocktail. It's so good. It's sad it's been, I think, forgotten in
Yeah.
our cocktail community. I don't
Totally.
see this enough.
Nope.
And Brad, I mean, you sipped it down quickly.
Yeah,
So
I
it
got
was
pretty
a good one.
excited drinking it. This thing is, I'm telling you, just please, if you haven't gotten the ingredients for this,
Please.
go get them.
Yeah.
You're going to want to go get the ingredients for this. This is such a delicious cocktail. It is in the sour family of cocktails. This unlocks so much in your life if you know how to make a sour cocktail. And in this case, we're going to use gin, we're going to use Cointreau, we're going to use lemon juice, and we're going to use just a little bit of simple syrup and an egg white, which is optional, but I highly recommend, highly recommend you use an egg white. Or you can use like a foaming agent, which we talk about wonder stuff here in a second
Yeah.
too. Now, this is like on the IBA's, International Bartending Association's list of like unforgettable cocktails. Like this cocktail is old. It is a classic. It is underappreciated in the cocktail community and underrepresented, honestly. And it's kind of a crime because once you make this cocktail, you're going to be like, holy crap. Now, the cocktail has gone by different names, by the way, in the past. Like some people might know it as a Chelsea sidecar is a name, yeah, or the Lillian Forever or the Delilah, which I don't know why any of those names are there, but this cocktail has morphed into other names. But folks, let me tell you, the original is the White Lady, and this thing is like lights out good.
Yeah. It's giving Gatsby. This would actually be, if you're having a themed party, this would be great. Like Gatsby era,
totally.
that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah,
This and the French 75 would go. There are some similarities with the French 75 in this one.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sans egg white,
Yeah.
right? And sans the Cointreau, but if you take gin, lemon juice, and simple syrup, that's a sour cocktail right there, folks.
Yeah.
And then you add that, you shake it up, and you put that together with a little champagne. Pow.
Boom.
You've got a French 75. Yeah. Sub out the gin and put in vodka, and then sub out the champagne and put in soda water. Now you've got a vodka Collins.
Yeah. And see, this is what is so fun. The plugging and chugging once you see what flavors you like and work. I just really think that this is really fun with the introduction of the Cointreau in a gin style cocktail, because I feel like we use a lot of Cointreau for our margaritas. I mean, I know my community does, but it's nice to use it for other cocktails, especially one as creamy. What did I call it? I was like, it's a
Magical
beautiful
milkshake, something
magical milkshake. Yeah, because it's just so frothy and creamy and balanced, and God, this is a good one.
So you'll grab your Coupe glasses, get those chilling right now, and then we're going to get into the history behind the drink. And then we've got a question from
William Scott. He sent us an email from our newsletter. So if you guys aren't subscribed to our newsletter, go subscribe to our newsletter. We post every other week when episodes air, what you need, the recipes, all that fun stuff. But he asked how to physically set up a bar space for a small party of 10. So we get into that at the end of the episode. And Brad had some pretty good entertaining tips. It's like he's done this or something.
yeah,
I might have
some
done
people
this
like
a
to have
few
like,
times.
hey, come on over for some barbecue. I'm like, hey, come on over for some drinks.
Yeah.
We're gonna make drinks. We're gonna have
We're
cocktails.
gonna make some old fashions. Yeah, with our Claris cube.
Oh yeah, I know.
But that's our episode today. I think it's a pretty good one, and I'm telling you, you guys, cocktails are getting expensive. We talk about it, and this is the perfect bar quality cocktail you can make at home.
High level
Yeah.
mixologist, this will make you, and it's not even that hard. You will blow minds with this drink.
No, 100%. Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into it.
So let's make it. Yeah.
Here we go. Well,
Yes.
here we go.
Here we go.
The White Lady.
Yes. I'm excited to watch you make this step by step because there's a lot of similarities with this one to one of my favorite cocktails. As the margarita queen herself, I'm seeing a lot of similarities with this cocktail and a margarita.
Yeah. I mean, let's look at the recipe, right? You've got gin. So let's say tequila.
Right.
You've got Cointreau. So let's say triple sec or Cointreau.
Yeah.
You've got lemon juice. Let's say it could be lime juice. Yeah. And you've got simple syrup. And you put that together. What do you got? Margarita.
Margarita.
Yeah. This is like a gin version of the margarita, only we're using lemon, not lime.
Yep. And I mean, really, it's what's the daisy, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we talk about that? The daisy cocktail. It's kind of all
this
modeled.
stems from the daisy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this definitely falls in the house of sour drinks, which
yes,
you've heard me say this before. Every cocktail class I've ever taught, I always talk about you learn how to make a sour, and that's just spirit, sugar, and citrus. You know how to make now lots and lots and lots of things that you can just tweak and play with and add a little Cointreau, and like you could do different things with simple syrups, change out spirits. Like this is a great example of how to take the sour concept and just next level it. Now, for the white lady that we're making today, the tradish was no egg white. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. This is it. The egg white was added later, and people are like, that's the way it should go. So you can make this without an egg white. I was at a bar, a cocktail parlor. I was at Parlor, which is a great cocktail joint here in the Twin Cities in Minneapolis. And the bartender there made me a Trinidad sour with tequila.
No way.
And, it was really good. But she's like, no egg white. She's like, gross. And I'm like, oh, you're not a fan of the egg white? She's like, no, just don't like it. She's like, it just creeps me out. And I get it. That actually, that creeps out a lot of people. And so to that end, if you don't want to use egg white, but you want it to be foamy, there's this stuff called Wonder Foam. I'm not using it today, but I just made one of these for Amy. And I used the Wonder Foam, and she's like, "Wow, this is amazing."
And you liked it because I've done the aquafaba, and there's like a weird like tannic flavor to it that I can't get behind the aquafaba.
I mean, okay, look, if we're just going to be honest with each other and everybody here that's listening, I would much prefer it with egg white. Sorry, it's creamy, it's silky, it's nice, but if you just can't get over it, right?
Yeah, sure.
And by the way, you don't need to put any foamer in it whatsoever because the original didn't come with any of that. I just think it falls a little flat. Also, the original didn't even have simple syrup. I added that in because I feel that the simple syrup gives it a little weight. And what you're about to see with this recipe is it's pretty tart. It comes out tart, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to want a little extra help there with the sweetness to balance it out. But it's really a smooth cocktail. So anyway, Wonder Stuff is the stuff that I used. It was actually recommended to me by a listener. I tried it out. I would much rather use an egg white, but it'll do in a pinch, right? You're not going to get the creaminess that you would with an egg white, but at least you'll get some foam if that's what you're looking for. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Well, let's get after this cocktail. All right. So one egg white, and we always want to do the egg white first because if you do it last and get the egg yolk into your shaker, you got to start all over.
It was funny. I was just doing a recipe video and I'm like, put your least expensive ingredients in first. That way, if you mess up, and the first ingredient was the egg.
Yeah.
And it was like, actually, wait, that's really expensive.
Let's rework that. Yeah. I totally, man, I can't believe eggs. A friend of mine was just in Hawaii and he's like, dude, eggs are $12 down here.
It's insane. I mean, they're $9 here.
Oh my God. They're $5 here in Minneapolis. And we have chickens and I'm like, hey, ladies. Okay, time to start laying. All right, it's been a good run this winter. I hope you're rested.
Time to clock in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Get your punch card out.
Yep. We're putting you on a performance improvement plan here just about now. So.
Yeah. Okay. So we got egg white. We got egg white in there. Cherished egg. Yeah.
So next we're gonna go 2 ounces of gin, and I used Roku gin, which is a Japanese style gin. yuzu citrus, little green tea, little
God,
peppery.
so good.
Goes really well inside this cocktail.
Yum.
Next, I'm going to add 1 ounce of lemon juice. And then I'm going to add 1 ounce of Cointreau. And you could use triple sec, just Cointreau is a little bit more elegant, has a little bit more punch to it. And I happen to like Cointreau. So
Well, and I will say for our listener, I wouldn't use Grand Marnier because of the color, and this is
no, it's different.
the
Grand
white,
Marnier is
yeah.
made with brandy. Like, nope.
Yeah, yeah.
Not the
Because
same.
I know a lot of people use that as a orange liqueur sub, but I wouldn't recommend it for this.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
no.
maybe, but I wouldn't.
And then finally, totally optional to you. I think it makes a difference. I'm adding just a little more than a 1/4 ounce. Let's call it a 1/3 ounce of simple syrup. And that's, again, for sweetness and a little weight to the cocktail. Okay.
Low balance.
So I'm going to dry shake it first.
Yeah.
And you got to give that a good hard shake for about 30 seconds. So cue the music.
Yeah, dry shake, no ice. No ice in there.
All right.
So
So
they
my
know.
dry shake, it blew up on me a little bit. I had to put it back together. So now I'm going to add ice to
the
my
best of us.
shaker tin.
Yeah.
And man, my ice maker took a crap in my refrigerator. So
no.
I had to go to my Claris column cubes and crack them up a little bit, which I was like, all right, well, whatever. I can make more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And use that. So I got these big ice chunks in here. So this is going to be good and
Nice.
foamy because the ice chunks will
Yeah.
really make it nice and chunky. All right. Here we go. 20-second shake. Too cold to hold. Here we go.
All right. And start.
All right. There we go.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Get that pulled
It
apart
you
here.
can hear the froth.
Oh, yeah. You absolutely. Oh, my God. This thing looks like a milkshake in here. So now I'm going to double strain this into my coupe glass. And
yeah.
this will be nice and pretty. So here we go. See that? Oh, and now you know why it's called a white lady.
Yeah.
Because she's beautiful.
You are beautiful.
Every single way. All right, here we go. And then I'm going to garnish it with a little lemon
Twist.
peel. Little lemon peel. Get on there. I did a little cut there so it would sit nice and tidy in the glass. How you doing there? Cheers, Jules.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Oh, that looks so good.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you. You can tell me you don't like gin. I would put one of these in your hands
Yeah.
and you would change your opinion.
Easily. Easily.
Just look at how.
Yeah,
Isn't that a
I know
pretty
what that
drink?
tastes like. That is a fantastic cocktail if you want something that isn't necessarily on the sweet side, but has good flavor. It's creamy. You have, it's just, yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
It is.
Again, you don't have to put the egg white in there. It makes such a difference. This looks like, it almost looks like and it tastes like a lemon meringue pie in your hand.
Yes.
Like you've got the yellowish white hue of the
Yeah.
liquid below the like foamy top.
Yeah.
And so it
yeah.
just literally looks like meringue on top
Yeah.
of there almost. Oh my gosh, this is just amazing.
God, you know what would have been good too there's so many, this was hard for me, Brad. This was hard for me for the riffs because I'm like, oh God, there's so many things you can do here. I mean, now I'm thinking, I'm like, shoot, you could add just a little bit of limoncello in that too. Really?
Well, I
bring
tell
it
you
out.
what, I mean, this just gives limoncello.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just everything you really want lemon to taste like when you drink something with, you know, when you have a spirit in your hand. Like this is what you want.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
what
and
you're
I would
looking for if you love lemon.
assume the syrup too, it helps to cut the sharpness of citrus a little bit better.
100%. And that's why, like, I think that, and by the way, I don't think we said what kind of glass I'm using. I'm using a coupe glass.
Yeah.
By the way, like, I think it could get a little too tart, right?
Yeah.
Like, you really got to love sour if you don't want to use simple syrup.
Mm-hmm.
I think just a touch of simple syrup matters here. The Cointreau is
Yeah.
already sweet, but it's just like that extra little dash of simple syrup stands up nicely to the Cointreau.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, to the lemon. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
hands down, favorite cocktail of the moment right now. Here it is. This comes out March 18th. So, folks, like, this will be the cocktail you drink into the spring and possibly the summer, maybe through the summer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I got a good riffy, even
All
though
right,
I
let's.
could
What's
keep
your riffy?
riffing. So here's the deal. Like I said before, there are so many ways you can riff with this. Brad used a syrup, depending on the time of the year, strawberries, you could do strawberry syrup, and then you wouldn't have a white lady, but it would still be a riff on, all the ingredients that you're looking at. So a lot of fun ways you can mess with it with the syrup. I also feel like you could play with the spirit that you're using, which would be great. But I kind of wanted to do something that was a little bit more funky. It's really not that crazy. But I'm calling this the Foxy Lady.
Oh, how you doing?
Yeah.
All right.
So we're going to be doing the same thing. Shaker tin, no ice, dry shaking these ingredients. Your 1 egg white, okay? 1.5 ounces of gin. And for this, let me ask you this question once I add in all the ingredients. So then you're going to do a 1/2 ounce of amaretto, 3/4 of an ounce lemon juice, and then a 1/2 ounce of orgeat syrup. So really nutty, and it just works with the egg white. I love the nuttiness that happens here.
Lemon and nutty.
Yeah. Oh, it's
All
good.
right.
Think when you're baking.
Uh-huh.
I love adding little amaretto instead of like vanilla extract. I love adding an amaretto, and it goes. So
Okay.
I love the nuttiness. I did this actually in the book. So in my Pretty Simple Cocktails book, I did do a lemon meringue martini, and I added in a little amaretto, little limoncello, little lemon juice. So it was kind of giving these vibes, but a much much simpler version. But with the nuttiness, Brad, what gin would you suggest here? I wouldn't go.
Oh,
I mean, I
man.
would maybe just go London Dry.
Yeah, I guess. Or you could. I'm reaching and not giving you ideas based upon what I think would go good, giving you ideas based upon what I know would be possibly interesting to play with. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, this Roku gin's pretty good.
Ooh, that milk whey gin would be good.
That would be good.
That would
Yeah,
be
because
good.
that's got a nice silky texture to it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's what I would use for
Yeah.
sure.
What's the name of that again?
Bertha's Revenge.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I've got
love
to
it.
get my hands on a bottle of that. Bertha's
Yeah.
Revenge.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool bottle. Like, oh, cool, I got this in Ireland. It's what? No, you can get it here in the States. You can. So I'm sure you can find
Wow.
it.
All right.
I thought it was ahead of the
I've got to make this nutty version and check it out, because
Yeah.
it's just like, it doesn't feel intuitive to me, but I can see it there.
And, I'm in this orgeat place. Like, it's
I
so
love orgeat.
freak. I
Yeah.
know. I
So
know.
good.
It's
So
so
good.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good. So add those ingredients to your cocktail shaker, dry shake, add ice, shake again, and strain this into a coupe. And to keep the nutty flavors going, I did garnish this with a little fresh nutmeg on top. It just like, it's so fragrant. Right when you just you put it to your lips, you smell it. It's so good. But that's what I'm kind of calling the Foxy Lady. I think it's kind of fun.
Well, that's nuts.
Hey,
You
know what?
Oh, that was bad. That's a dad joke right
Oh
there.
my God. But there you have the two cocktails. Both are good. Again, Brad, the classic cocktail the way it is perfect. And I think there's so many easy ways to really riff on this and make it different, just simply by, the sugar you want to use, the spirit you want to use. But I think that this riffy does a little simpler, because I didn't go too crazy, but definitely some ingredients you wouldn't think to use, which is kind of what I wanted people to try. So if you guys try this at home, let me know if you're a fan of the nuttiness.
Yeah.
And I like to get a little nutty.
Here's another idea for you at home. Careful with creme de violette, but you might want to try it with a little, just a dash of creme de
Well, you know
violet
what
in
I
there.
was thinking?
Yeah.
What about like a Campari too? That would be good.
Yeah, of course.
I know.
You know, this you know what? This is a great drink. I laugh because I've got to be in a mood for like a Negroni.
Okay.
This is a great cocktail if you want a gin drink and you're like, I don't want a Negroni. Like, what could I do? Like, and by the way, like, seriously, like the bartender's gonna be like, you probably have to walk him through it, right? Because this is just an obscure cocktail for whatever reason.
Yeah, which is
I give it a shot with Campari, like a little bitter orange in there. Sure, yeah, absolutely, because you kind of get that almost from the Roku too. There's just a smack of bitter orange.
That was a good gin choice right there. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, should we get on to talking about where this cocktail comes from?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
All right, the White Lady.
The milkshake of happiness, you just coined it.
The milkshake of happiness, the White Lady, as we like to say. I know white would be called a White Lady because it is white, and she's served in a coupe. It's giving feminine energy. I mean, those things make sense to me, but how did we get here?
Well, yeah, let's talk about that. So we'll talk about kind of where it came from and its evolution, and we'll get into like how it got its name.
Yeah.
And then even some cultural references and some fun facts. All right.
Perfect.
How's that sound?
Yeah.
Cool.
Buckle up.
All right. Well, the White Lady. So she's not as controversial as some of the cocktails we've talked about in the past. The most widely accepted story is that it goes back to Harry Macalone. And you guys all remember Harry, right? So, and if you don't, I'll tell you about him. But this cocktail goes all the way back to the early 20th century, golden age of cocktails, right? This was invented in London at Ciro's Club, right? And so the initial version, you're going to dig this, is a little bit different from what we know today. And the initial initial version was not gin, lemon, and Cointreau, but creme de Monte. So you want to know something interesting?
Yes.
Creme de mint. Creme de mint.
Yeah.
And I like to say menthe, or it's like I like every time I say it, I'm like I know I'm pronouncing this wrong. So like I literally looked
THE.
I looked up how to pronounce creme de mint, and it goes like it's French. It's creme de menthe.
Okay,
Monte.
so we're all saying it wrong.
We're all saying it wrong. Creme de menthe. But I don't want to sound pretentious. Like, hey, God, you point me to where the creme de menthe is here in the liquor store. They're gonna be like, huh?
Yeah. Like, what are you fucking saying?
Hey.
The creme de mint.
Hey, highbrow. You might go look in the liqueur section.
Oh, yeah. And he's going to give you a bad version, too. He's going to be like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, here you go. Phillips is over there.
Yeah.
Sparky.
Yeah.
Okay, so Macalone, he originally started with creme de menthe, and then when he moved to Paris in 1923, and if you recall, he went there to open the New York bar in Paris, which eventually became Harry's, which is what it's known as today. Harry's bar. It was Harry's New York bar, and now it's just Harry's.
I've been there.
You've been there.
Yeah.
And so he revised the recipe when he was at Harry's, and he revised it to eliminate the creme de menthe. Thank God, by the way. Thank God.
Yeah.
And he swapped in gin.
Yeah.
However, they were equal parts. So it was equal parts creme de menthe and equal parts that and triple sec and lemon juice. And then he's like, all right, well, not triple sec, but Cointreau. Actually, it was triple sec. And then he swapped out, gets the gin in there. So now I get equal parts gin, Cointreau and lemon juice. And that was like, it was good, right? But it wasn't until it continued on, and then Harry Craddock, not Macalone, Craddock gets a hold of it.
Yep.
And Harry Craddock, remember, prestigious Savoy hotel in London, right? So Craddock included the cocktail in his publication, the Savoy Cocktail Book. And in this version, he increased the gin on it. So it kind of turned up the gas a little bit. People really liked that. Obviously, because it's in the Savoy Cocktail Book, it like locks its place in history.
Yeah.
Right? Now, many, 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 many years later, still at the Savoy, by the way, there's another guy who comes along, and that is Peter Dorelli. Peter Dorelli comes along, and he adds in the egg white because he's, God, it just kind of feels, and again, I feel this cocktail's flat without the egg white. It just, it works, but, margaritas don't have egg white in them, right? So it still tastes good. It it just needs a little something if it's not going to sit over ice in your glass.
Sure.
And that something is egg white. And that's what Dorelli came up with. And Dorelli, by the way, he worked there from 84 to 2003. So many years later, he had the egg white. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how did the drink get its name? Well, the most widely accepted theory is that it was inspired by, just like you said, it's a pale color. Mm-hmm. It's in an elegant glass. Its frothy appearance kind of resembles they would say, the white lady's dress. And nice lacy dress that a woman might wear, or maybe it's not lacy, maybe it's silk, or maybe it's neither of those. I don't know why I'm going down the path of materials right now. Now I'm just literally making shit up, and I just need to stop right there.
Just leave it at dress. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why do I need to explain this anymore? You can imagine your own dress in your own mind. It's
was
white.
Hand-sewn dress with
nice embroidery, across the puffy sleeves, long flowing trail behind it. Oh, a wedding dress. Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So another interesting claim is that the cocktail may have been named as a tribute to Zelda Fitzgerald, who was the wife of novelist F. Scott Fitzgerald and one of the most famous flappers of the 1920s, right?
I think I have heard this before. I feel like this is the story I think is the one. I think this is the one. Listener, I think this
is it's a story, but the most widely accepted version is it reminds Harry of a woman's dress.
That era. It's giving
Gatsby.
Gatsby.
It is kind of giving Gatsby, isn't it? So this drink becomes wildly popular. It's in the Savoy cocktail book. Obviously, it's being served at the Savoy, right? It starts to make its way around the world. And it's really because the flavor is just so well balanced.
Yeah.
This is why the world loves and riffed off of so many different kinds of sour cocktails. Because the sour is just, it's like, if you can take an old fashioned, spirit, sugar, bitters, water, and swap out any spirit, right? And you play with the bitters and stuff like that. You can make a variety of old fashions. Well, same thing with a sour cocktail, folks. Start with just spirit, citrus, sugar, start there, and then you can play around with flavors and spirits. You can add bitters in if you want. You can add in enhancers like Cointreau, or you can add in, let's talk about an aviation, right? An aviation is gin, lemon juice, creme de violet, and maraschino liqueur, and depending upon who you are, maybe a little bit of simple syrup too. There again, because I like the weight of the simple syrup.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. So hopefully for some of you, an aha moment just happened, because that is literally, you've unlocked thousands of cocktails. With this secret. So it had some celebrity endorsement as well. It was apparently the favorite cocktail of the silent movie comic duo, which later ended up being on many old reruns, Laurel and Hardy. Do you ever remember Laurel and Hardy?
I do.
Yeah. So this was the favorite cocktail for Laurel and Hardy. Mm-hmm.
I mean, this just is giving. It's elegant. It's not too sweet. I mean, I just think given. Because what era was this of cocktails?
So definitely golden era, and then through Prohibition, this thing just took off because this was invented overseas, right? So back here in the States, we were struggling with
but it's so weird that we don't have more of these on the menu. I feel like I don't see a white lady, at every cocktail bar.
Really weird.
So such a miss.
This is on the IBA, right? International Bartending Association's timeless cocktails, right?
Yeah.
So, and theirs actually doesn't have either simple syrup, nor does it have the egg white. Again, if you want to be traditional, go ahead and go that route. But honestly, it
evolved for a reason. Yeah,
it evolved for a reason. And so they recognize it. It's a timeless cocktail. But if you go to a cocktail bar, you're just not going to see it, unless you ask for it. And still, even if you ask for it, people might be like, what's that again?
Yeah.
So
this is a good one to make at home. It's all the ingredients you have to have a bar quality cocktail. At a certain point, you could pay $20 to have some bartender whip this up for you, or you can make it at home, and it would taste very similar to what's made. I feel like out.
100%. I'm telling you, the cocktail I just made, right?
Is it
I
gone?
would pay.
Did you finish it?
No, I'm really trying to slow
You're
play it, which
savoring.
is, I mean, yeah, I've been talking, which is the only reason why I haven't been
Mm-hmm.
downing. So this cocktail tastes like it is, you are in an establishment that is of like high standard, right? Like
Yeah.
this just is just something you would expect to pay $15 to $20 for, or $30 to $40 for if you're in Vegas or
Yeah.
Dubai.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I threw Dubai in there, but I heard it's really
Why
expensive
not?
to drink there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've heard it's just very expensive to be there. Like it's not cheap there, but it seems insane.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
on my list.
Yeah,
Got
like,
to
I
save
don't-
up for that one.
What the hell is going on in Las Vegas? Like what happened to just I don't know, letting everybody kind of participate in the fun? Like it's like you've got to drain every last dollar, dime, and nickel out of people from where they sit down to eat
I
to
know.
like gambling and like the table minimums and stuff. Like I don't know what happened. Like Vegas, like when I started going, this is like me, I'm sorry, like I'm so old. But I remember the first time I went out there in the late 90s and my dad's like, oh, kid, that place has really changed. And it had, right? It had.
Yeah, sure.
But like stuff wasn't built all the way up to the street. You still kind of had to walk back, like, to get to like Caesars and stuff. Like they
Sure.
had a mall entrance that was up to the street. But like you could go to a bar and get a drink, at O'Shea's for $1, right? Or you could go to just like as you're gambling at a $5 table,
Yeah.
the drinks would come in, and they're free, and you go get a drink at the bar in the casino, and maybe
Yep.
you're going to spend $5,
Yeah, I
for a
know.
nice cocktail. And now
But
it's
it's
just like
everywhere.
it's insane. It's $20, $25. It's just
know.
like
Well, no, I mean Vegas their prices are bad. Like $20, 23, I feel like is, you got your LA, your New York, but like Vegas, it could be upwards of like 30, 35.
yeah, like
Like what?
I don't know. At some point, it's like insulting.
Yeah, it's like I know how much that costs. That probably costs you maybe $2 all
Yeah,
told.
let's start with the fact that I could buy the main spirit probably for less than this cocktail costs, right?
Oh my God, I
So
know.
sorry,
I
folks.
know.
I mean, I don't mean to those of you who are in the industry who are like, "Hey, man, shut up," like, but you're probably thinking the same thing. Like, I can't believe people pay these prices.
No, totally. That's why I love when we can make and bring to the table cocktail like bar quality. Like I love a Negroni, don't get me wrong, but sometimes there's something about a classic cocktail like this that maybe it's not as popular, you don't see it all the time, and then you make it and you're like, oh my God, this tastes like something I would order. This is awesome.
This is like a great example of just how great the cocktail scene was, back in the day, right?
How much do you think this would cost you?
Back in the day, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the cocktails cost back in the day,
I
truthfully.
know,
but,
that would be an interesting thing to find out. I wonder the progression of cost of cocktails out at a bar. I wonder what that would look like. Like, was it 50 cents at one point?
Probably. I don't know. The Google might be able to tell us here, so let's do a quick search.
Easy Googled.
Survey says, during 1920, a mixed drink would typically cost between 50 cents and $1.
Oh my God.
So now consider the fact that in the 90s, that went up to $5. Holy shit, I almost dropped the Cointreau. All right, $5. So let's see, how much is 50 cents from 1920 worth today? So 50 cents back then is about $7.89 today.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's really
Still.
cheap. That's really cheap.
$7.89. So let's say, so double it, right? If it's $1. So now we're up to what, 14, 15, 16 bucks. Yeah. 14 bucks,
those are
15
cheap.
bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
insane.
I guess cocktails for, like, at least in Minneapolis, they've kept pace because they're usually about 15 bucks now. When you go out, it's like when you see them pretend, you're like, whoa, this is a great
Yeah,
place
like
to
when
drink.
it's when it's happy hour, it's $10, and then I hate that. I hate when I just miss happy hour and the cocktails went from $18 to $10 because. Are you kidding me? They should just be, if you can, anyway, it's really frustrating when I see that.
I know. This is why we're here. Right?
Exactly. To make the cocktails at home, okay?
Yeah. Now, I'm going to go out tonight and I'm going to go, Amy and I are going to have some cocktails and we'll have a little fun.
What are you
We'll
going to
spend
do?
little
Not get a
money.
cocktail?
Yeah,
Come on.
exactly.
I know.
And like, I want to still like sit at the bar and watch. And part of me, like, the cocktail for me, like I love to sit at the bar and watch the performance too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not judging. I'm just fascinated. Like I go into a
think
liquor
it's so
store. That's like an art
soothing.
museum to me. I go to a bar. It's like watching a play to me.
Yeah.
I love just watching the scene unfold. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
love the
it's good.
dancing behind the bar. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good. It's good to be able to make them at home too. Right.
Yeah.
All right, back to the drink.
Yes,
So
yes.
we know where the drink came from. We know where it was invented. We know the town, like, it was invented in London, like seminal drink, right? The drink is popular because it tastes beautiful. It looks elegant. It's versatile. You can do it with egg white, without egg white. If you want to play with different styles of gins, you can.
Mm-hmm.
You can, play around with a little Cointreau and maybe add in a different enhancer, like maybe a creme de violette. I haven't done that yet, but that's totally on my radar.
Yeah.
A creme de cassis, like you can play with different flavors in this cocktail. And this is literally something like pinky up type of drinking, right? And you look like a pro.
You do.
When you put this in front of somebody. However, if you are like a gentle shaker, which, man, I tell you, again, go back to teaching people how to make drinks. It kills me when you're like, okay, you got to shake it hard. You got to shake the shaker hard.
Yeah.
And people they just it's like they're afraid to break the shaker. And it's like,
I
no,
know.
like anger.
Yeah. Mad. Mad.
Pretend there's a bee in there and you're trying to kill it before it gets out and
Yeah.
stings you.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. I like that one.
I'm like, get angry.
No,
And
I mean, the
so-
best example is just from one tin to the other tin.
Yep.
You'll hear the ice and just go fast.
Yeah, you're trying to slam it into a side. So
Yeah.
you've got to aggressively shake any drink that has an egg white in it.
Yeah.
And this is definitely one of those that if you don't shake it and you do it egg white, it's gross.
Ew. Yeah.
So that's the history on it. Here's some fun facts.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap it up. All right. So legend has it that Harry Craddock made a 1927 White Lady cocktail and took the entire contents inside the cocktail shaker and embedded it in the walls of the Savoy as kind of a time capsule.
No way.
Never been found, but that's the legend.
Huh.
Alfred Hitchcock reportedly was one of his favorite cocktails too. And there's an anecdote that when faced with an unpromising script or an uncompromising script, or just really, he's got a difficult situation in front of him, Hitchcock would often say, "What we need is a white lady." Okay, now we're talking Hitchcock. It's a little spooky, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the white lady also is kind of like a ghostly image. So the white lady is like she brings death in the Irish culture, right?
Yeah.
And so this could also be a nice little Halloween cocktail.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
Death becomes her. Yeah.
Yes, death becomes her. So fun little facts there about the white lady. So really, this is kind of like an all a year around cocktail,
Yeah,
in
I
my
like that.
opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
But,
I think it has
I
a
mean-
nice makeup. Like it is. It's neutral. It's delicious. You can, I mean, really, you can get lemon juice anytime. What can't you get? I mean, really, yeah. I mean, eggs right now, but other than that, you can get all these ingredients. It's not, that's great.
And if you want to try something else too, like try playing with little bitters across the top, right? So sometimes egg white has a little bit of a, I hate this term, but it's kind of true. It's kind of got a wet dog smell to it,
No.
which is why you maybe want to express a little lemon oil over the top, or do some bitters over the top, like an orange bitters.
People
maybe
who were
even.
teetering on the egg white are now
Sorry,
like,
folks. Like, oh
No,
man, I just
actually.
wrecked it for you. But don't let this stop you. Like, honestly, this will be the drink that you're just going to drink all summer long, all spring long, and probably into Halloween.
Yep. Well, now. Yeah, we'll make something fun for Halloween too. You could put like a cool stencil on the egg white front. It could be kind of fun. Yeah. No,
All
but
right.
I love this era. I think it's such a good cocktail era. It's so fun, so Gatsby, so elegant. Ugh, it's great. And it tastes freaking amazing. So
Well, there you have it. Enjoy the drink.
The white lady. We have a newsletter now. I don't know if I told you about that.
Yeah. Cool. I didn't know that.
So we have a newsletter, and
awesome.
it kind of goes
Is it good?
through. It goes through what you'll need for the podcast and all these things. But it
Really?
gets sent, every other week, and we actually got a response back via email
Sweet.
from William Scott, who sent in a question. And I love this question because I feel like we talk about this, but we're going to lay it on the line right now. And Brad, I think you're really good at this. But William asked, any suggestions on how to physically set up a bar space for a small party of 10 so I don't get stuck behind the bar making drinks all night? I would rather be a social butterfly. And this is a great question. Party of 10, the great amount, in my opinion. That's like the perfect amount. I I think the most obvious answer right away for me is have your menu ready. What are we making? What are the cocktails do you want to do? One? Do you want to do two? Yes, go Brad.
Yeah, no. I'm pointing at my nose, pointing at you. Like that's it. You know
That's
it. Like,
it.
what's your menu?
What's your
Start
menu?
there. Start with the menu. Okay, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
give me a
start with
second.
the menu. And I would say party of 10, I get over ambitious. Like I'm like, okay, I'll have 4 cocktail stations and it'll be this and that and this. And I will say it is ambitious, but I have always had success when I've planned them out. So I've always done, like you have your, intricate ish cocktails, but then I always have a Negroni station where you have, the easy ones where people, when you're done with, that fancy batch that you made for your company and people are still wanting to have, a cocktail, I like to have those simple ones out and ready to go that people can make. And they're not like, well, what do I need for this again? It's already out. It's already out. So I think coming with a plan is great. Having that menu, and then one thing that I've actually done that is fun for my guests, people really enjoy it, is I'll write out the recipe for the
There you go.
cocktail, and people can make it themselves, and it actually is fun.
That's what I thought you meant by menu. Like, yeah, menu and like here's the recipe and here's
Yeah.
how you do it. Now, it's kind of a wild idea, right?
Oh, I love it.
But let's kind of think about, all right, you're having a cocktail party, right?
Yeah.
Everybody gets there.
Yep.
And maybe you put a drink in their hand, right? Right
Oh.
away, right away as a welcome drink.
That's the best.
Highly recommend the French 75, by the way. Like if you want to go that step. Now, you got everybody's cocktail in their hand. Party game, right? Little party icebreaker. 10 of you, let's gather around and let's get some cocktail class going. I'm going to teach you how to make one of these drinks in here. And then now you know how to make it.
Yep.
And or go through, if you're going to make 3 different drinks, like I'm going to teach you how to make 3 different drinks.
Yep.
And maybe even like take that and pour it into like those little sampler cups, like we did when we did the cocktail class
Cute.
here.
Yes.
Pour in little solo, like little sampler cups, like they're 1
Yep.
ounce, right?
Uh-huh.
Have everybody taste it. They can kind of zone in on their favorite cocktail. And then like maybe you've got 3 stations set up. Definitely put out some bar mats or towels or whatever, because
I
it's going to
agree.
be a hot mess.
Yeah. A fun hot mess.
Yeah. Little bucket for water and just kind of rinsing stuff out,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then just like step away, be like, all right, you know how to make the drinks now, right? I taught you. And by the way, the instructions are right there. So like you can connect the visual memory with the instructions that you're reading, and
Yeah.
you're out of the loop. Just have
Yeah.
a big bucket of ice ready and maybe a cooler sitting there so you can just kind of continuously refill the ice or show people
Well,
where
and
it's
the
at.
one thing I will say is if you do that, make sure I would make sure that I had one that was already pre-batched. Maybe it's a freezer door old fashioned. That way, when the fun has died
Pre-batching is
down,
key.
yeah, that way you're ready to go. And so in William's question, he asked how to physically set up a bar space. I feel like only put out the ingredients you want people to use. However, behind those main ingredients that people are using, I would have your classics. Like if somebody wanted, gin or tequila, I would have those out. So I wouldn't put anything out that isn't absolutely necessary. Like put
Right.
the creme de menthe, creme de
Mont.
menthe.
Mont.
That can go away. Yeah.
So here's just kind of like thinking out loud here, but so say you wanted to go with that, I'm gonna teach you how to make a drink thing. I would use ingredients. So here's what you know for sure if you're having a party. Someone in the group's gonna be drinking vodka cranberry, Cape
Yeah.
Codder. Someone in the group's gonna be doing that, right? Someone's gonna be wanting to do like vodka soda or tequila soda, stuff like that. Maybe you'll even have a gin and tonic in there. So like have the basics out, the tonic water, the soda water, the cranberry juice, right? And that will probably satisfy a good 50% or more of the people, right?
I agree.
A martini, super easy to make, right? Like, have the olives out, right? I like to put out, so this is what I like to do. I like to put out the main bottles that I'm going to use, right? And then I put out those other ingredients that supplement. I haven't done the cocktail here. Let me teach you how to make a drink. So you'll have to figure that one out, but I kind of like the idea.
I like the idea.
Then what I do is I put out garnishes for the cocktails. So I put out lemons and limes. I put out oranges. If I'm doing old fashions, which I always am. So I've got, cherries out there too, cocktail picks, maybe even pick the stuff if you want ahead of time. That might be a lot, but I don't know how fancy you want to get. And then have a bucket of ice ready and a cooler of ice nearby. So you're not running up and down stairs. You've just got the ice there, 20 pound bag of ice, key, very key. And then your glassware. And so if I've got 10 people coming over, I'll put out 6 or 8 old fashioned glasses. I'll put out, some Coupe glasses, and I'll put out some, other types of glasses. Yep. Always have a sparkling on hand. Always have wine on hand, right? So you got your wine glasses, your sparkling.
Because towards the end, people are like, okay, I can't do another cocktail, but I can do wine.
Put your bitters out. I'm in the fortunate position that we've befriended the folks at Dashfire, so I've got bitters all day long, and that's a fun one for old. No, that's a fun one for old fashions. Like that's a great one if you're going to do like kind of an old fashioned party. And then tell people to play around with bitters too. That's another thing to do. It's like, hey, look, spirit, sugar, water, bitters. And then be like, try the different bitters, right? Like, go get a collection of bitters. If you want to like get into a weird hobby, like I would peruse the Dashfire website and just start.
Got some good stuff on
Oh my God, just start picking off the bitters on there, kind of slowly over time, and it's like you can really have some fun there.
I mean, I think that's it. The only other thing is I got these like little name tag cards, and that's fun
great.
To just write out what like martini bar or the Negroni station. That's just fun. It just adds a nice touch where your guests know what they're making if you don't want to go the make it route.
One more thing I would think of is depending upon so if you're like, I don't know how physical, like how much detail you want for this physical space, but here's some things that I do when I set up my bar also. If I'm putting it in my kitchen, which I don't necessarily love because oftentimes I'm cooking, and so then I've got people in there. But in the past, I've just kind of shoved the kitchen table against the wall and put everything on the table there, and that's the bar. You can do the same thing if you've got a dining room or another space out of your workspace if you're cooking, and shove a table or put a couple of card tables together, right, and just make that the bar. I find the more stable the table, the better. Because table. You want a stable table because like those card tables move around and stuff, right? So if you got a nice solid base table, like just push into the corner. If you got like a bar, like a breakfast bar or like a center island, like all great spaces, and just kind of dedicate a cocktail space by putting out like towels and stuff. Like this is where you're going to make your cocktail, just so this stuff doesn't wander around. So
Brad, that's good intel. You crushed that.
I hope well, you could tell I've done a lot of entertaining.
Actually, let me roll up my sleeves and really tell you.
Well, and if you could move the party outside, even better, right? So,
right.
But that's some ideas. Also, hey, actually, one last tip. So, say you want to move the party outside, Craigslist, go find a stainless steel table, and they're on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. Like those things are out there.
Yeah, that's badass.
I bought a stainless steel table for $75, and the thing's worth like $400 or $500 if you were to buy it new. So
sure. Yeah, it's a good I like that. I mean, we're getting so close to being outdoors now.
Yeah. Well, right now it's spring, right, in many parts of the country because this comes out the day after St. Patrick's Day. Sorry for your hangover.
Yeah.
But
it's sorry for your hangover. Just drink through it with a white lady. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. There you go. This will make you feel right. Maybe you won't be the white lady then.
Exactly.
All right. On to next week, which is the cheese factor a little bit here with some of these cocktails. Like, look, we did the Sex on the Beach. All right. Now.
You know what, though? People do love this cocktail.
Dude, I'm telling you what. You're going to, if you haven't made the Sex on the Beach yet, go do it. You're going to be like, okay, where you been all my life? Where you been? Where you been?
Yeah.
Folks, next week is the Tequila Sunrise. And good news is you just need tequila. And
oranges.
And orange juice. Yep. And Blanco tequila. Like you're not going to go wrong with Blanco tequila. And grenadine.
Yeah.
And if you want to make your own grenadine, go get some
Which you
pomegranate juice, go get some sugar, and go get some lemons. And there's all kinds of recipes for homemade grenadine online. Just make homemade grenadine. Trust me, you're going to like it better than the regular grenadine.
Yeah. Is there anything better than a tequila sunrise, like on the beach, morning, you're having a boozy brunch? Come on. Come on.
Yeah. And by the
And we're
way,
gonna
we're
show you how
using
to make it
fresh
the right
orange juice,
way.
folks. Let's
Yeah.
not go getting, any kind of cheesy orange juice here. So
Oh, you'll give me a heart attack, I
yeah,
think.
fresh orange juice matters.
Yeah.
So that's next week, the tequila sunrise. Can't wait to talk about that.
I can't wait for my riff on this.
Me neither. All right, folks. That's a wrap.
That's it.